Okay, so good morning and good evening, everybody, and welcome back in today's class. Today we are on the day number 15, and we are doing a topic of our request management. Okay, so for the request management, what from where we started, we done the service portal configuration. Then we see that what is catalog, category, and item, and now we are going to be see that if I click on the submit button, how the approval get triggered and how the task get generated. And this part is called the workflow. Okay, there are two concepts. One is called the workflow and other is called the flow. Okay, now the question comes, why the two concepts for the same thing? So in the simple words, if I say it is a enhancement of the existing functionality. Workflow is there. So now if I say one more thing, so it was like this earlier. Execution plan. Okay. Execution plan is very simple in ServiceNow. It's very old now. Nobody using it, as per my experience. In this, you cannot do a lot of coding. You cannot do a lot of scripting. Okay. Then ServiceNow introduced the workflow, where you can do coding. You can do runtime dynamics things easily. And then ServiceNow introduced flow. The main drawback which I found in the workflow and the flow is that in the workflow you cannot do any kind of a error handling. In flow it is coming out of the box. They both will do the same work, but it is like a tool is different. So like if I remember earlier days, what happened that if I need to be traveled from one place to another place, I can go via bus or I can go via my own cab or my car. And now same thing I can do via cab as well. The benefit of cab is that you can sleep because you're not driving. You can hold it for more time if required. You can take it to the other route, which you can do from the previous as well, from your car as well. But here, the main benefit is that you can take a rest. So we will start with the workflow. Okay, because workflow is currently in use, but not in depth. My intention to you guys to be learn about the flow more, because now companies are using the flow more. Another important point, maybe if you notice, there's a no way that I can migrate workflow to the flow. No, I read a lot of community blogs. I see many people asking the same question, but the fact is that you cannot convert the workflow into the flow. So it means if in your existing company you have some workflow built for any of the catalog item, you cannot just right click and convert, not possible. You have to create the flows from the scratch for that particular catalog item. So yes, few things up and down here. In the workflow, there is no pictorial representation available, kind of things I can say, but in the flow, the pictorial representation get created automatically. Okay, so now let's take example. Let's say we are here, right? And I say LNG. Okay, I go here, request something. I go here, training, and I click on the admin and I click on the SN basic. Now my point is that I want when I click on this request button, it should go for approval and at least one task should get created. This is my ask. Even though if you do this thing now, let's say I'm doing it EX primary contact number. Now the question comes from where these things are coming. Remember we put the question set. It is coming from the question set. How this can be cost center HR. What is business purpose is, and click on the request and request. Now also the request or ID will be get generated, but it has no workflow attached, or maybe there's some default workflow which we added that has been attached. If I go and show you here, so you can see requested item will be generated. See, default task is coming. Why? Because we choose the some different workflow. Now we will create our own workflow. So what we can do, we can go here and search for the workflow. Okay, so workflow and the flow are considered as a automation engines, as an automation method, as an automation way. So if I say that earlier, if I take example, earlier if I need to make a coffee, what I do, I take a coffee, the raw coffee in one of the small cup, put some milk, and from the spoon I start mixing it. But now things has been changed. I just put coffee, a 2 or 3 spoon milk, and put my grinder or a small machine is there, put and it mix it. Things are same, but the automation has been done now. That is important. So workflow or the flow has been considered as an automation way, automation engine. Not engines is not the right one, but say you can say the automation way. Okay. Now I go here and search for the workflow. Flow editors. I'm just looking for workflow here. Targeted workflow editor here. Okay, so first we will do workflow editor, then the same thing we will do in the flows as well. Okay, so now if I show you something which is good for you to be understand. Here I go and search for the request. So like these things. There is a lot of workflows has been given by ServiceNow out of the box. Okay, there's a lot of workflow and the flows as well given by ServiceNow out of the box. So we have to be very clearly see that if anything coming out of the box, let's not create on my own. If someone of you is working on the change management, let me show you the emergency change flow. Workflow, sorry. See how complicated it is. So big. Normal change. See. So the simple thing is that in my service now, when I'm using in my company, I just click on a one button, right? On the change and I say, OK, request approval. Hey, it's got for the approval. Task has been getting generated. How this happen? It happens due to this workflow. There has been written steps has been written in the background, which execute one by one by one by one. The only thing is that it has been mentioned in this place. So we are going to be discuss these boxes, this how these boxes will be built up. What is the purpose of this box and how many boxes are available for us? Okay, so what I will do, I'll go here and I click on the plus to create a new workflow. Okay, because I want to create my own workflow. I say LNG test workflow. Now it is important here on which table you want to run this workflow. On incident, request, knowledge, problem, REQ, RATM, which table you want to run this workflow. As we are building a workflow for the request item, and what is the table name for the request item? Anybody know? What is the table name of the request item? Anybody has any idea what is the table name of the request item? What is the table name of the request? And what is the table name for the C task? Now we have to be remember these things. I'm bluntly saying we have to be remember these tables name. So it is a SC underscore REQ underscore item. This one. So now I'm going to create a workflow for my catalog item, which will work on the table called the SC underscore REQ underscore item. Because this is what my table, you can see here. See here. Okay. This is the purpose of this training, guys. So someone asked me when I started this training, someone asked me, Atul, what I will learn from this training. So I said, after this training, you and me both are able to speak in the ServiceNow terms. It means you also know that what table I'm referring, what is the table name, what is the SLA, what is the email, and you also can refer me on the same part and we can do the technical discussions as well on that thing. So now I'm going here. So I'll put my table name like this and few things are out of the box. What is stage rendering? I said it's a workflow driven, means how you want this workflow should be run. I said it should be run as a workflow. It's a completely service now out of the box. Even I have no much idea about this. Okay, so we click on the submit. Now what I did, if I tell you, I just created a function sum a comma b, but till now I did not write the logic that what A and B will do here. Okay. The good point here is, even though that is not much good, but in the flow, you'll get a more better idea. Now I want, when a user, let me go here again, go back here, request something, and I want when a user click on this request button, it should go for the batch 10 approval, or I want it should go for the requesters manager approval. Now let me take an example to understand. Let's say Trevor joined a new company. Okay, new organization he joined. Okay, the day he joined, he talked to his manager and his manager says, hey, Trevor, you're going to work in a support project. So do one thing, you go and raise a request for the new laptop and one mobile phone. Okay, Trevor was happy that I will do this part. Trevor go to that company portal, raise a request, one laptop and one mobile phone. Now this request need to be approved first by the Traverse manager. How he will know, how he will come to know that I need to be approved? Because in the background, we are going to be write a logic in the workflow. It's not only for Trevor. Maybe let's say after 2 days, Namrata joined the same company. Namrata's manager say go and raise a request for the laptop. And now Namrata's manager is getting the approval. After a few days, Ola joined the same company. So it means we cannot hardcore the manager name because it's totally depend on the person who is raising the request. It means we need to do some dynamically. These are the practical things which you and me need to be asked in the workshop. Customer says, Atul, can you create a catalog item for me? I said, yes. Tell me whose approval is required. Do you need approval on the first place? He said, yes. Then I asked, okay, is it a fixed group or it's a dynamic group? It's a dynamic group. The person who is requesting his managers and managers need to be approved. Okay. How many tasks you want? I want 2 tasks. Okay. So now we're going to be doing a dynamic part. But the question comes, Atul, where we can see these dynamic things. In the workflow, there's an activity that is called the core activities. What do you mean by the core activities? If from the mobile phone, I remove the calling function and the SMS function, it will be no longer a mobile phone. It is just a device which is similar to the mobile laptop. Because from the laptop you cannot make a call until you install some soft phones or something like that. So it means these are the core activities which is required to run any kind of a workflow. And that is the reason ServiceNow give this out of the box. If I speak from the interview perspective, if I am an interviewer, I always have a question on these parameters. That what are the core activities and how many types of core activities available. So we have approximately 10 or 12 core activities available. It is not we have to be write it. No, it is already given by ServiceNow. And what are these core activity? Number 1 is for the approval. If anything you want to do for the approval purpose, you can do it. So now I'm building these things with the example of the change management. So in the change management, we ask the approval from a group as well. We can ask the approval from the individual as well. We ask for the approval of the change manager as well. We ask for the approval of the change coordinator as well. So 4 different personas available in ServiceNow, and we have to be define that in the workflow. So in this case, go here and open it. So you can add a group, you can add a user, you can add the approval action. Okay, which is for the current task specifically. Approval coordinator on the runtime if you want to generate something. Sorry, approval coordinator means who is managing all the approvals, 1 or more approvals like this. Approval coordinator, if it is container the 1 or more approval, means for a single activity, if you are putting a lot of approvals together, then approval coordinator is there. Generate something on the runtime. Okay, then the manual approval. I want in the change now in the change I want that it should be approved by Rajesh as well. So I can go and add the manual approval. So now I'm sure today if you are working on any of the change management, any of the request item in your official companies, in your official instances, see that what type of trigger is triggering. So now for our work, we are going to very simple one. I want that this request item should be approved by the group. So just drag and drop. This is what the low code is coming. Even though in the flow, there is nothing to be drag and drop. It's too easy in that part. So I say approval, this one. Stage you can left it, keep it as it is. Now this is important. When to run. When you want this particular approval should run. Now let's say the company which Trevor joined, his manager say, Trevor, go and there's a request for the what I can say, this thing, stationery. And there's a request for the stationery for everybody in the team. 6 notebooks, 6 pen, 6 markers. He said, okay. He go there and it is a request which don't require any approval. I give you an example and you try today. Okay. Try to raise a request. Okay. Try to raise a catalog from here. Try to go and let me show you here. Hardware, printers, office, services. Not this one. Let me show you. Office key. Let me hear this one. I'll tell you one thing, then you. Yes, this one. Good. Okay. Now what you have to do, guys? After this class, go and raise a request for this one. Okay, a laptop, developer laptop, and click on the order now. It will trigger for some approval, or you can put 2 quantities as well, or 3 quantities. Okay. Anything you want to put, you can put it. That's fine for me. Once this has been triggered, it will trigger a extra approval. You have to find out from there that approval is coming. Number one, you have to find out that what is the trigger point for this particular laptop. In ServiceNow, I'm again coming on the same thing. In ServiceNow, if you want to learn that how ServiceNow works, the important point is that you learn it out of the box first. If you're able to learn that, then you're able to do anything. So raise a request on this and find out from where the approvals are triggering. Okay. Now let's come here. So I am putting when to run. Let's say again the same example. Namrata she is married. If she want to purchase something within the cost of 1,000, she go ahead and purchase. But if she want to purchase a costly item, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, she asks from her husband. I'll not put the approval here. Okay. But yes, she asked for the approval from her husband. Now it means it has a condition here. So you can put any condition. I want, if this is there in my catalog item, then it should go for the approval. So you can put the condition, because I don't want to remove the surprise of this thing. Once you do this part, then you come to know a lot of more thing. Okay, so I'm putting every time this should be run. This approval should be run. Now the question comes to whom the approval should go. Here's the third tab. And you can add the groups here. I want it should go for the batch 10 admin. I want it should go for the change team. I want it should go for the problem team. See, so multiple groups you can add. Multiple groups you can add. I'm sure Rajesh you have a question now. Atul, you are adding 3 groups. How the approval will be take place? If 1 approve, 1 rejected. If 2 approve, 1 rejected. If 2 rejected, 1 approve. Do we need to approval from everybody in this group? I give you example again. Let's say Rajesh is planning to buy a new flat. Definitely it's a costly one. Millions need to be spent. Okay. So he want to purchase a house or a new flat. He put his proposal to his wife. She said, okay, let's go ahead. Now she put the proposal in front of his parents. Parents, I'm putting the 2 different identities, mother and father, because both have a separate way of thinking. Both plus or minus matter. They put a proposal and father is okay, but mother is not okay. XYZ reasons. Now what to do? Before that, the question comes. Do we need both approval or only one approval will work? I give one example. Another example, I'm adding one more example just to give you a use case here. Okay. So when we were kid, okay, this is what I saw in my house. When we were kid, if I want to buy anything, maybe a cycle, maybe some toy, I ask my father, Dad, I want this thing. He says, my father says, okay, but not today. Okay. Generally it happens to make a kid a disciplined manner. We intentionally put, so like I do this thing at present with my kid. He says, Dad, I want to buy some toy. I said, if your mother give approval for today, we will get it today. It means if one approval will come from house, let's say I'm saying no, but mother say yes. Child say, Dad, mom approved, let's go and buy it. Sometimes vice versa also happen. No, you will not get because your father is not agree on this part. Mother say this thing. So now the question come, if in a batch 10, so in a batch 10 we are the 5 people. Do I need approval from everybody? Think practically. If I take approval from the 5 people for in a single group, how much time it will take? Rajesh is worried. Okay, so now what we're going to be do, I'm going to be remove these 2 groups because I showed you that how or what is the purpose of this. Okay. Remove and lock it. Now the next part is coming. Advanced, if you want to do any kind of a scripting and schedule that on a specific time it should run. This approval should go after 4 days of a request creation. So up to you that how you want to do. That's totally you. The main part is this one. Condition for approval. So let's say यहाँ पर in a single group I have 4 people. mother, father, brother and sister. Now it says condition for approval. This is very much important. Wait for an approval from each group. So if I add two groups here more, then it's saying, not it's saying, I am defining it. System is giving me the functionality, but I am defining it. What I'm defining? An approval from each group. Ki boss, at least one person. So no, sorry. From the each group, I need one approval. Only then I will move forward. So let's take example of Rajesh here again. Rajesh want to purchase a house. Okay. She and his wife is already agree. She put the proposal to parents and in-laws. Okay. Parents contain father, mother, and in-laws contain father and mother. The first point says an approval from each group. By at least I need approval from both of the group. Now I did not say that one approval, everybody approval, minimum one approval, at most one approval. I did not say. I said I need approval from the both of the group. That's the condition number one. Okay. What's the condition number two? An approval from any group. It means either my parents approved, either my in-laws approved. I'll go ahead and book the flat. This is what I'm saying. An approval. I did not say that who is doing me first. I'm taking. No, I said anybody or any approval from any of the group will work for me. An approval from everyone in all the groups. It means I need total 4 approvals for this particular request. What I'm saying, an approval from everyone in all groups. If there are 5 members in this group, there are 10 members in this group, so total 15 approval I need it to proceed further. This is what I'm defining it here. The first response from each group. I call to my mother and say I want to purchase a house. And she said, okay, done. I'm not bothered that I'm going to talk to father or not. No. This is what each group. The first response from any group. In the both of the group, anybody, the first one who approved is considered as approval. And we proceed further. And the last condition based on script. I said, no, I need to write some scripting in the background, maybe some specific conditions. Only then it should be considered. So I said an approval from each group. If I add 2 groups here, okay, or let's say I put the first response from each group. Now what will happen if it gets rejected? Because it's a system, not a human being. We can think that what is good, what is bad for us if someone rejecting the request. But system cannot. System says what you define, I will do. So it says when anyone reject the complete approval and wait for the other response before deciding. But it is a manual work which we avoid. So we always go this one. So now if anybody from these 2 groups reject, the whole life cycle of the request will be marked as rejected and closed. So now I want that think practically on this part. This is the consulting required, guys, from us as a consultant. See, I cannot build a workflow. My team can build a workflow, technical team. But my responsibility is to get these details from the business. Now let's say I am okay with this point and click on the submit. Okay. Now let me click on this icon. In every, if I say in every class, in every batch, I did this thing. It's showing two warnings. Let me show the warning as well. Warning 1 and warning 2. Now read this warning and tell me what wrong we are doing here. Read this warning. It's a very simple English warning, nothing much. Let me open it for you here. Now read this and tell me what's wrong in our approval. I want answer from you guys. Yes, Namrata, what is this meaning? Tell me, guys, tell me. What this mean, Rajesh? What this mean? Try to correlate. See, this is what some you asked me, right? Atul, what is the work of the BA? Sometimes this is the work of the BA. As a consultant, we should know that why it's giving me error. Trevor, what do you think? Why this is warning is there?
I guess maybe there's an activity it's trying to do, but there's nothing saying to move on to the next one.
What activity?
I mean, it says that there is an activity condition, and there's just no way to like an input transition. So I don't know if that's what it's like missing. Like the input transition is to like maybe transfer them like from one activity to another.
Where?
Somewhere in the workflow, I'm assuming.
You are assuming, but your assumption is right. But you need to tell me that what is that activity? Let me show you this other warning. Okay. Now read this. And tell me. Yes, Trevor, go ahead.
I guess it would say that there are two different conditions that are not outputting anything.
Okay.
So like on the workflow, like the previous form, it would be the.
Now tell me.
So the approved and rejected, they are not going anywhere.
Okay. So what we need to do?
So now we need to connect them. Like we need to like there's an approval group, and if we need to say what happens if they're approved and what happens if they're rejected.
Perfectly right. So the warning is that because this particular activity don't have any input and don't have any output. So what I will do, I'll go and remove this. And bring this to this. This is the first warning we are getting. Now, if I click on this, only one warning. Okay, two warnings are there still. Okay, because it's showing the output as well. And now it says what happened with the request. If anybody approve or anybody reject. As of now, I said both will be and. But Namrata has a question. Atul, come on. If parents are getting approved or giving the approval for the flat, we should go and talk to the builder now. It means we need some kind of a task now to proceed further. So now what I will do, I'll show the another activity here. Let's call the task. But before that, I'll give you few more. Number one, notification. You can send the email notification from the ServiceNow. Now I'm sure if you are working or you worked or you are going to work in a request, sorry, in a change management, in a request management, you come to know these things. Oh, I receive an email from where it is coming from the workflow. Try to create the notification. Maybe not able to, you are not able to do because we did not do this part, but drag and drop and see. If you want to put some conditions, if this thing happen, wait for condition. Wait for condition is very, very useful. Sometime, like I give you the example. When we do the integration of two systems, we are bringing the data from ServiceNow in the another ServiceNow module, or maybe Remedy to ServiceNow, maybe Jira to ServiceNow, some other tool to ServiceNow. We put a condition. So I give an example. Let's say if I'm giving a medicine to my kid, I told him, don't drink water for the next 5 minutes. This is what the wait for condition. Why? Because you want that medicine should go in and start impacting immediately. Okay. This is the purpose of that part. So that the previous execution get completed on time. So you can see this thing. Then you can go for the another one that is called the request. Sorry, service catalog. Here. Some order guide you want to do. We will see that what is order guide meaning here. Some subflow. So now the thing is that what is the concept of subflow here? Subflow is nothing. It is a kind of a flow. But when you're calling that flow in some other workflow, that becomes a sub workflow. So like I know that I'm making a cup of coffee. In the meantime, the water get boiled. I start putting the coffee in a small coffee mug and start beating that. That is a subflow. Right? Or let's say, what is the best example of subflow? Let's say there's a guest at your house now. Okay. And your mom say, hey, please can you make a cup of tea? You're making a cup of tea. In the parallel, you start putting the snacks, maybe some biscuits, some cookies, some kind of a namkeen, some kind of a chips in the plates. Now either you make a cup of tea, either you preparing some kind of a cold drink or maybe some kind of a juice. This is the subflow for you. Put the things in the plates, cookies and other things and serve that. That is called the subflow, and you can run in the parallel as well. Now think example that if you're making a cup of tea and in the meantime you start working and decorating the plates with the cookies and other things. It doesn't matter that it doesn't mean that you are going to switch off the gas. or the stove and do this thing work. No. Water is still boiling. You're working in the parallel. We do a lot of things in the parallel, right? If I call to Rajesh, he will be having a breakfast plus talking to me in the parallel, right? Let's sometime what happened that I'm on the call and I'm going a walk as well. I'm doing a parallel work. Okay. Now the next one is called the task. So now I want that if someone approve this request, it should create a task. But remember, there's the two things has been given: catalog task and the create task. Both have a two different tables. It is go under the sc underscore task. It is go on the task table, main table. It will go the code table, base table. So carefully you have to be defined that on which table you want to create a task. So I'll put catalog task, drag and drop. So I can put here task 1. Scroll down. It is on the essay task. Yes, priority. What priority you want for this task? I want it should be P2. Okay. Task value from. Do you want to populate some of the task detail from the field? I said yes, only field. Okay. Field means which are able to see on the form. These are the fields. Even though these are not field actually, these are the variables. These are not the fields because it did not store in table. No, these are the variables. Okay. Now fulfillment group, to whom you want to assign. I want to assign it to the change team. Short description, get the basic details. Any instructions you want to put, you can put. Same thing, any schedule you want to put, you can put when to create this part. And if you want to add any variable means I'm talking about these things. Let me come here. These are the variables, right? Do you want to show some variables? If you want, you can show on the form level. As of now, I'm going very simple way and click on the submit. Now, if you run, it will again give an error because this task has no input, no output. Let me close this. Okay. Now let's go here. Oh. Okay. Now what I will do, if someone reject, then end the process. If someone approve, then create a task. And if task get closed, then then end the process. Now it's more clear. Okay. The only problem in the workflow is that you cannot download this as an image. There's no option available. Okay. Now the thing is that go here and check in. Edit. Oh, I'm not getting a checked out. Hai na ye? Let me validate this first. Okay, now zero warning and all the things. Okay, good. Now click and publish. Sorry, it's not checking, it's publish. Publish means now it is available for the use in the catalog item. Now go here and search for the maintain item. What was our this one? SM basic. Open it and go to the process engine. Go to the process engine here and remove this and put LNG, our workflow name, and click on the save. And now if I go here, let me reload my page again. Now if I go here, I'll fill this detail. This, and click on the request. Click on the request here. Now we're testing our workflow. This is my REQ number. Here, I'll go. My RITM is there. Open the RITM. And now scroll down. And now you can see it is going for the group approval batch 10. From where it is becoming, open this workflow. See, the green says I'm on this particular point at of time. Okay, so now either I have to be approved, either I have to be reject. So let's say from this group, Rajesh login and Rajesh approve this request. And once you approve, we will get a catalog task as well. And now you can see the task has been created. If you open this, you can notice it's a P2 because we mentioned P2. It is a short description. That is what we mentioned the short description. And now if I close this task, even though my RITM is still open because we did not define the complete logic in the background. It is our workflow, which is just a basic one, not end-to-end proof one. So you will able to see like this. Now no further task has been get created, but it indicates that our workflow is working very much fine. Now let me come on the screen here. Any doubt, any question, guys? Any clarification required in this? Ask, please. Trevor, you have to do the practice as well. Only then it will work for you. Otherwise, you will forget it by tomorrow. I can guarantee you. Good. Yes, Namrata, Rajesh, any doubt? Pooja, Ola, any doubt, any question?
I'm good for now.
Good, 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 good. Okay. Good. Now let me take you the next step then. Okay. So now what is the work for you? Let me give you the homework. The thing is that you need to be read minimum. Go here and search for the request. Read at least this one and this workflow. When I say read means you have to be open it. You have to be check everything. If you click on this, it will show you like this. You're not able to understand a lot of things. So what you can do, you can go and check out here, so that when you click on this, you can see the complete logic as well. Now read this particular workflow. See, it's approval action is notification, catalog task, notification, log message, catalog task. When you read this, only then you're able to know that how the request management actually work. in the background. Now let's do this via flow. Flow designer. The flow designer come in the process automation. I click on this flow designer. The work which we done in the workflow, something similar we are going to be do in the flow as well now. Okay. Number one, it has a completely different look and feel. In this, you are not required to remember the table name because it is just a drag. It is not a drag and drop. It is just an English writing. So the same thing which you can see there, you can see here as well. Flows are given by ServiceNow. If I click here, so I can find few tables. I guess it is not there which we are looking for. No, it is not there. So it means few which is given by ServiceNow the workflow are not available in the flows. So we can create our flows as well. Here the things are a little different. Flow and subflow we know. What do you mean by the word action? That is important. And execution and the connections. The thing is that with the help of the flow, you can bring the data from the third-party tool and you can put into ServiceNow. We can do this thing. Generally for the integration purpose, we use the flow. And that is another reason that ServiceNow say why flow is important. Because in your integration hub, you can use the flows, not the workflow. Now let's create a new workflow here. So new flow. In this context, we are just speaking about the flows, not the workflow, because these two are the two different concepts. And I'm telling you one more thing. Customer is not bothered that you're using the flow or the workflow. It is you need to be defined that which is the right option and the best option to do this part. So let me say, I'll say LNG flow. You can mention that what is the description of why you're getting this flow. If any application, global or scope, you can put it here. Protection means you want to make it a read only or anything. I said no, anybody can make a change here. And run as user who initiate the session. It means as soon as user initiate a session on that particular table, this process, this flow should attach. And I click on the submit. Clear. Now in this thing, the first point is called the trigger. Trigger means when to start. So if you remember in the workflow, we have a table name, right? Here we have to be define the trigger that when I am creating a catalog, then I want this should get attached. So there you have to remember the table name. Here you have to remember the English name. So if I say change, nothing is there. Let's say what options are available here. Some record has been created, some inbound action is there, or this one. I said when I want to create a catalog task, sorry, catalog, then trigger this and click on the, if you want to see the advanced option, you can see here. When to run, the same thing, run in the background, yes. As a default, run in the background always. And done. And here the actual thing comes. So here I am defining the table name that it should run on the sc underscore req underscore item or req. And here the action. You can add action, flow or subflow. Let me take example that I said anybody who submit this request, approval should go to his manager first. So now what I will do here, I'll go here and I add manager of this particular person, system admin. Okay, let me add a manager here. Let me go here, sys underscore user table, because manager field is not available here. So I go and do this. Sorry, I want to open the list. You would still open the form. Wait. User admin, user, and let me add a field called manager. Okay. And ID is okay, this one. So I'm putting manager is, let's say I'm putting Rajesh as the manager of this particular thing. Because if there's a no record, it will skip. So now I go in the flow. I want if anybody submit this request, it should go to the managers. Now two things. Either you can get a new flow or either you can use a subflow. Let's go for the subflow first. It say what you want to do. I want to add a subflow because this is what ServiceNow give me out of the box. ServiceNow know that these are the common use cases which required by everybody. So why they have to pick it again and again and again? Let me give this option already. So I can say manager and you will find like this. Service fulfillment step manager approval. Because I know experience, I have experience, so I'm putting like this. So if I go in the global, I still have a requested item for manager. If I go here, I have a data model. Now the question comes where I should go. Requested item manager approval, or I should go service catalog fulfillment one. Let me try this. I'm always doubtful here. No, we are not going in this way. We need to be go. Let cancel this. This is a little complicated topic for me as well, guys. I'll put manager and I put the global one and I put the requested item manager approval. Yes. It says subflow is called requested item manager approval. Okay. Wait for completion. Yes. On which requested item you want to go for the approval. Now two things. 1 and 2. Rajesh says, hey, I need to be take approval from my parents. Rajesh wife says, on which request? Maybe in his mind there are two requests going on which request. So you can define this part in the here. In ServiceNow they have given us the data pill picker. This is very much important functionality, guys. We will use this in the ATF as well. I said the data which I created just now in this request item, I want approval from that particular record. Okay, good, fine, done. Now the question comes. Approval has been sent. What will happen if they approve or if they reject? And here I have to be at the flow logic. If let's say will take, it says if Go here, requested item is rejected. Is let me do it. Wait. Let me. Not here. Wait. Oops, sorry. This one. It's a approval take place. Go here. Item is something is there? No. Is okay. It's rejected. It says if it has been rejected is true. Means if approval says it's rejected, then what to do? See, you have to do something. If approval is accepted, then fine. If it has been rejected, then end the process. Simple. If father says no, reject it. Or if the first person said no, because in this case we're talking about the manager approval. If system admin approval is Rajesh, if Rajesh says rejected, then flow end. But if it get approved, then what? Then add a action. Set then boss creator. Okay. Task. This is what the action need to be do. Which task? Catalog task. And give a on which record? I said the record which we created here only. Short description. Hello to my world. Same thing. You want to put any catalog item, sorry, catalog variables, you can put it. That's fine. And if you want to add any more field value, priority you want to put, you can put priority is P3. You won't put description, short description or description. You can put and click on the done. And at the last, put the flow logic as a end. So that, sorry, it's not be and it's be like something close or something will be there. I need to be see that what should be there here, flow logic. Okay, and now I click on the save. This is a very simple example I'm giving you. Now the benefit is that in this particular thing, click on this progress bar. This is what ServiceNow introduced in the San Diego or the Tokyo release. Not Tokyo, it's in the San Diego release. See, you can see this in a picture. Now I'm sure it is easy for understand. I said it should be run on the catalog item. Go for the manager approval. If approved, sorry, if rejected, it's false. Then end the flow. If it is false, it means it's get approved, create a task and end a node. You can add an action here as well. If you want, you can add an action here as well. Maybe I can put action call and then call the end. No, it's not there by the name of the end. Let remove this and activate this. Now what I will do, I'll go to the same catalog item. It has been published now. Okay, the another benefit of the flow is that you can test here as well. You can put any item here and you can test it. Let's say I'm putting an item 3 and run test. Before you go and fill or do any actual part, you can test it from here as well. Your test has finished, view the results. Let's see what happened. It says waiting, this is not on, that's all. Leave it. We'll go here. And now I'll go to the maintain item again. Because in the maintain item, I have to be change the workflow to the flow now. SN basic. Go to the process engine. Same thing you can do in the catalog builder as well, guys. Remove this and come here. LNG flow and save. Now go here, come here, request something, SN basic, fill the details, and submit it. Submit. Copy and go here and paste it. Now this is my RATM. I open it and I go for the down. And now you can see it is going for Rajesh approval. You want to see the flow? You can click on the flow context. I'm not sure that it will work for me or not. Yes, no, it's not working. Not sure but that what's wrong in my instance, but it's not working. Otherwise, you can see the same format, which we can see for the workflows as well. Okay, so now I go here and click on the approve. Come on. Why it's showing like this? Let me open that one again. And now if you go down, open the RITM. And you can see, oh, task not get generated. That's bad. We have to see that why the task is not getting generated. Maybe in our flow, where is flow gone? Let me open this flow here. Not here. Maybe the reason can be this thing we have done wrong. It's saying if it's true, if rejected is true, then it's end. So it means what we have to do, we have to go here, we have to make a change in this place. Now you cannot make a change, so it should be false. Sorry, you can do it and done. So if rejected is false, agar reject nahi है, it has been approved, then proceed further. But if rejected is true, then close the process there only. Okay, now click on the save and you can run it again. It will work fine for us now. It will create the task as well. Now the important point, which is be there for everybody, is to be understand on this part. Internal name application. instead of this, or let me put as a catalog. This one. Read about this one. Catalog item request. If I show you, a lot of things are there. So creating a catalog task, sending the email notification. See, they are using the manager approval and they're using the department head approval as well. And it is again the subflow. This symbol is showing the subflow. What you have to be do? What you have to do? Go here and search for the subflows and read the subflow one by one. There's a lot of subflows are there, maybe 137 you cannot read. So what you can do, let me try to give you some option here. Internally. Here. Maybe with the help of the REQ, or you can see like managers one. Go here. Manager. This one, which we're doing. Read these two and find out that what is the difference between these two. This is also manager approval. This is also manager approval. Then why these are the two different concepts? Open it. And here you will know that why and how this logic is working. See, they're using some other workflow as well. They're using then condition. If rejected, then assign subflow output. So these are the things. It is very important, guys. Nowadays, flows are very much useful in the market. And these things, more you do the practice, more you will be able to learn in these concepts. Clear everybody till this point? Any doubt? Pooja, Trevor, Namrata, Rajesh, and Ola. Any doubt, any question, any clarification? Thank you. It's actually interesting now. It is actually interesting now, and now it's your time to do the R&D and to be learned. Create small workflow. By mistake, intentionally put the wrong thing and see what happening. I put the catalog task, you put the just task and see what happened. Okay, only then we are able to learn this thing. And with this, our almost topic of the request management has been completed. Now two things has been left: request, record producer, and the catalog, order guide. That we will do it tomorrow. Before I close the recording, anybody has any doubt, any question, you can ask. Go ahead, Rajesh.
I'm good for today.
Okay, nice. Namrata, Pooja, any doubt? Trevor, any doubt?
Oh, they're good. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, let me stop the recording and take a quick attendance now.